What's up, guys? My name is Marco. Um, I am a legal immigrant, and I hadn't done a live for like 5 days, almost a week. I hadn't done a live, and actually I took the weekend off. Um, I went on a little vacation with my family, and I'm back. And I miss you guys. You know, this movement really, um, you really get attached to all these people in the movement. Um, uh, so I'm gonna be with Johnny. Give me a second, Johnny Benitez. So you get attached to people in the movement, and what I took a few days off, and then I miss you guys. But so let me see if I can get Johnny Benitez here so we can talk about masculinity, because hey, what's up, Mary? Let me see who's here. Mary, John, Mara, Yvonne, Pat. Nice to see you, Pat. Valentina, what's up, Valentina? Steve. We are a family. Thank you, Marcos. You are a unifier. No, thank you. Ronaldo, what's up? Irma, great to see you, Irma. We are really a family, guys. And you know, I took a few days off, and I miss you guys. What's up, guys? Irma is saying what's up, guys, too now. Denise. Hey, Denise. We need those shirts with what's up, guys. Everybody's asking for those shirts. And I don't know what to do. Everybody say hi to Denise. She's going to be making the shirts for what's up, guys. Stephanie, what's up? Jan Aguirre says he is feeling masculine. Okay. All right, let me see. Johnny, let me see, where are you at, bro? Let me bring Johnny here. Johnny, can you say hi so I can see, because I don't see you. Let me see. Oh, all right. You know what, Johnny? For some reason, I can't invite you. Can you change your settings? Have you done a double split before? Denise, please forgive me about the shirt. Oh, you never done one? For some reason I can't do it, but let's do this. Let's do it on the phone, if you don't mind. I can either call you or you can call me. Make men masculine again, guys. That's what's going on. You're the man. Yeah, if you can't make the phone work, you can just call me on that number I gave you. Hola, Luisa, what's up? This is a great topic to talk about, because, oh, I got it. Right on. It worked, Johnny. I'm inviting you. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Happy August. Today is the the National Girlfriend Day. So if you have a girlfriend, please invite her somewhere. Okay, we're waiting for Johnny. It's not. Okay, just try to. Johnny, I was inviting you. Okay. Hola, buenas noches. Lupe, how are you, Lupe? Let me try you again, Johnny. Actually, it was working. I'm inviting you, Johnny. It was working. Let's wait, see if it works. The split. Let's see. Denise says, "I'm everyone's girlfriend. I want flowers and chocolates now." Wow, now. Roger, what's up, Roger? Everybody say hi to Roger. Roger's a great American, a patriot. He has actually been very nice to me all throughout the campaign. And Roger's a great American. Awesome. He's been very nice to me.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
It worked.
Finally got it working, huh? All right. I guess it doesn't work on the computer.
Oh, you on the computer?
Yeah, I was trying to make it work on the computer because I thought that would be the most reliable connection and everything, and I guess it doesn't allow you to do that, but it did come through the phone, so that's good.
Johnny, so I don't think I have a shake your hand, but you've been at a few rallies, right? You've been in Berkeley a couple times?
Yeah, I was at the first Battle of Berkeley, and then I went to the second one after that where it wasn't too exciting. That was a lot of fun.
I was watching your video, and so you said that your industry is destroyed. What industry was that?
I work in massage therapy. 7 years ago, there used to be a lot of professional places where people had 7 years of experience, where they'd actually gone to school for a couple of years, where they did a lot of medical treatment type stuff. And now that's very hard to find because you just have a lot of Asian immigrants who do it, and they do it for like $20 an hour or something really cheap. And so it's just like a non-viable career to get into at this point in time. And I've seen that happen to a lot of my friends that work in landscaping, that work in HVAC, that work in construction with unions and everything.
I was talking to a psychiatrist, psychologist, a doctor, and she said that she had to close her practice, so pretty much she was very angry with a lot of people because you have a lot of usually Hispanics that they don't want to pay for a doctor, but they go with like this curanderos, this like guys that are like on the you know what I'm talking about?
Witch doctor. Yeah, like witch doctor.
Yeah, like a witch doctor. And they go and drop $5,000 on them, but they don't want to hire a real doctor. So it was
Well, we don't create incentive. They can get the real doctor for free,
So you speak Spanish, huh?
Yeah, I speak Spanish. Was my first language. I just thought it was always important to be able to speak the language of the country effectively. But I do like Spanish.
Because Valentina was saying, make Johnny Benitez speak Spanish. She's never heard you speak Spanish.
I don't know if anybody would understand this. I think most of well, I guess your fan base is very probably bilingual.
I actually, Johnny Benitez, I'm very interested in your message because my kids, I didn't teach them Spanish.
You didn't?
No, I didn't, because I felt that was sort of like a firewall, so to not because I felt that what happened is when we first came here, my brothers, they became cholos. They were younger, and they were out there on the drive-bys and all the remember the cruising times and all that.
Yeah.
So I kind of didn't want that for my kids, so I didn't teach them much Spanish. I felt now they know a little bit, but maybe it sounds a little racist on my part. But
Luckily, I wasn't when we moved into like Mission Viejo, so we didn't have a very criminal community or anything like that. So there was no repercussions like that for having to learn Spanish. But when I was in high school, like I would pretend not to know Spanish because a lot of the people that would be like very like seedy drug dealers, like the ones that do all the graffiti and stuff. And so I just wouldn't really say anything about speaking Spanish or anything. I just would pretend that I didn't. I think it's a nice language, but it's very important to me that people recognize that this is the American country and that English is the official, or should be at least considered to be the official language of the nation.
Yeah. So, so you're taking the lead. I like that you're taking the lead there in LA, and I see a lot of people are following you. So what about this masculinity thing? I was reading that. Do you remember that movie, The Fight Club? Oh,
Yeah, yeah, I remember Fight Club, the movie. That's the
well,
one.
they say that it was kind of like a little bit about that it was hard for men to find their identity as their masculine identity. So that's why they did the Fight Club, and it helped them. So I think you're sort of like doing a little Fight Club here. You got a little Fight Club going on.
That was the intention of the alt nights. I mean, we are training. Sparring is a big part of that. I think in order for a man to develop as a man, it's important for him to face physical confrontation, whether that's playing football, standing up to a bully, stuff like that. It really is important. So yeah, I mean, that is something that we're trying to get started with the alt nights. It is part of it. It is part of it. We have men that are, I think this is the first generation of men that you've actually had little boys who never had to stand up to bullies, who were always protected, who didn't, some of them didn't even play contact sports because their parents were too scared of them getting hit in the head and stuff like that. And now we see what happens when you get a generation of those men. I think a big part of why our society is so lacking is because those men grew up that way and that lack of masculinity. And so that is something that we are trying to accomplish with the Alt Nights, and that is what the event on August 5th is about. It's about bringing back that idea because it's been under attack. The reason that men don't grow up that way, I think, is because they're actively suppressed. Our society is actively trying to feminize them.
Yeah, when I grew up, like in Mexico, it was actually the other way around. Like you couldn't, It was more of suppression of your feelings. Um,
Yeah.
and in Spanish, we joke a lot. We call people puto and all that all the time, and you don't feel bad. But lately, it's being kind of like it's not an insult anymore because you actually feel bad if you call somebody puto because they might be on that going towards that area, and it, I don't know, it's changing.
Yeah, it's well that's what I always tell. That's why there's a lot of people who support the alt right who are not white, because when they attack masculinity and they attack identity, they start with white men. But Hispanic culture is very masculine. Like in our countries, like weakness, at least from what I remember of Colombia, weakness is not enabled. They will really try to break you down to either build you up as a man or to just destroy you. And and that's part of my concern is that we live in a global competitive atmosphere. If we have a bunch of men who are afraid of confrontation, what I don't see how the country could survive. I don't see how we could face countries like China, like South American countries where people face really hard circumstances and you can't be coddled. Like it is in Colombians are the same way. They like to talk shit a lot. They like to insult a lot. They like to make fun a lot. And these soft American guys who's been raised in this society that doesn't let anybody say anything mean to him, I think he wouldn't be able to survive. And that's part of why we need to make men masculine in the end, is because we are competing on a global scale. We can't just be expecting to maintain our status as a superpower when a bunch of our men are very weak and very emotionally sensitive, just women, really.
I mean, I can understand men trying to get in touch with their feelings and themselves, but I think we're just. I was in Monterey with my kids for the weekend, and you start seeing all these couples, these gay couples, and it's starting to be like the trend. I have 4 kids, and I'm trying to teach them how to be men. What's up?
Yeah, it just
You
cut
hear
out
me?
for a little. Yeah, it just cut out for a little bit. All right, it's good now. So
Oh, I
yeah,
was telling you, I was in Monterey with my kids. So I have 4 kids. So I'm very interested in you, what you're trying to do here, because I'm worried about my kids, my sons, how they're going to uh, go in the world, and how to give them the masculinity that my grandpa gave me.
well, I mean, I remember Kyle Chapman, who's going to be speaking at August 5th. He was talking about, and I don't know if he's still working on it or because he's got a lot of projects going on, but he was talking about starting something that was like kind of like the Boy Scouts, but even more focused on making sure that they're like a tougher, rougher Boy Scouts type deal. Because we do, and any movement that hopes to change society in the long run has to affect the children. That's a fundamental fact. And so I don't know if he's doing that project, but I think that's a necessary project that should exist. And so whether he does it by himself or if we have to get it started up, I think it's a good project because we should provide that. I don't think public schools are providing that atmosphere anymore. So there has to be a program. When I was in junior high, I think it was, I went to something called the Devil Pups, which was like it was like Boy Scouts, but it was a Marine Corps program, and
Hmm.
you're a kid, but they they yell at you and they push you physically and they break you down and you come out of that stronger. You come out of that feeling good. You come out of that understanding discipline and order and the chain of command and how to fight and overcoming your physical and mental barriers. I mean, they made us. I had a fear of heights, and they over the course of 3 weeks, they would make you jump off of platforms into a pool. And the first platform wasn't very high, and then the second one was a lot higher, and then the third one was ridiculously high, and I was terrified. But because of the conditioning and because of the preparedness, I just took that step right off, and I've been able to do that ever since. And so I think that increasing a program like that and making it more available to more families, I think, is a fundamental part of saving the American culture and Western masculinity. And that's kind of the reason that we're having the event, is to promote those ideas that it's okay to want your little boy to be masculine and a man.
Yeah. It's so Kyle's gonna be there. Joe Viggs is gonna be there, and I think Robert Herrera is gonna be there too. Okay, so there you have it,
I think
guys.
is Robert going to be there? Because I don't know if he has to get back. He might be
He
there.
said he's gonna wait. He's gonna somebody
Nice.
help him with the ticket. Yeah, somebody help him with the tickets, so he's gonna be there. So where can people get the tickets, or how do we do it?
So if you go onto the event page, which everybody should be on that already, you can click, it says buy tickets here, and it's like an Eventbrite page. So right from the Facebook page, all you have to do is click on the Eventbrite, and it'll take you right to where you can purchase tickets. Or you can buy tickets at the door. Tickets will also be available at the door. You can come by and just buy them at the door.
Let me see. I think people are having questions here. Uh, oh, they're more they're interested in communism and all that. So yeah,
Yeah.
so you're from Colombia. So you were born in Colombia?
Yeah, I was born in Colombia, but I don't really remember very much of Colombia. I came when I was very young.
Because for me, I was born and raised in Mexico. So really, I didn't wake up to what's going on until like maybe 3 years ago. Well, I really knew what was going on 8 years ago when Obama took office, and he pretty much went anti-commerce on all of us. He started killing every small business out there. And but I see, when you talk to a Cuban, they can tell you. I mean, for them, it's black and white. There's just, they can see that we're going into a socialist state.
Yeah,
That,
and
that
it's not.
we have to do something.
Yeah, and it's not just that. It's I do go back to Colombia like every 2 years, and whenever you're in the city, this is why the Second Amendment is so important to me. is when you go there, you realize that there are people with guns, but you don't have a gun, and the people that have guns are all criminals. And there's a lot more gun crime. I mean, there's a lot more fear of what can happen to you because you know there's no one around with a gun to protect you. You have no rights. People in their homes are not likely to have a gun. And so being a part of a culture that basically keeps people from protecting themselves, that's too much socialism. That right there is a socialist problem. And you start to get that a lot. The problem is, before you get to Venezuela, you go through all these steps where they disarm people and they make it so that they can't stand up and defend themselves. And the problem is, we don't wake up to it at that point in time. We let that happen. And then when it gets to be like Venezuela, you don't have the tools to defend yourself or to bring your country back. And so that's my biggest thing that I take away from being South American and from going back is I do love it back there because it's, you know, it's a tropical paradise and we own land where it's nice and remote. But the amount of freedom, the feeling of safety and security because you can't protect yourself, that's irreplaceable. Even though I love my land and I would love to just go there and kind of farm and live a nice, simple life, I just would not feel comfortable being able to do that because we lack the protections of the Constitution.
And I think that Mexico inherited a lot of the Colombian stuff too, so it's working its way up. and somebody's asking here if you're against legal immigration. You know, I've thought a lot about that. To be honest with you, because I come from Mexico and I know how third world mentality, how deep rooted it is. We come here with childhood trauma and things that we have to integrate slowly into the culture. It's not something that happens overnight. And I think that it has gotten out of hand. So right now, if you don't fix the problem that's in the land, I mean, why keep bringing people? So I'm kind of like with you and Kyle in that area, but I don't know.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I understand how people feel about it and everything, but it is, we don't have the vetting processes, right? At the very least, what you can say is wait. I think the very minimal thing that you can say is we have to wait until we have appropriate vetting processes. And since we don't even have those, no one even has a good concept of what that is. Because as we've seen, the big problem with gun control is you don't know who's going to be crazy. A lot of the time, these people that they do these crazy things, you have no idea who they are. All kinds of tests, and you don't find out that they're bad for your society until they're in your society. And so, you know, I wouldn't even be for taking really anybody. Even sometimes the people that I would feel comfortable taking would be maybe like white Europeans who are leaving their country because they'll be very far right because they've experienced socialism and they're having to run away from it. But who knows? Because look, George Clooney ran away from Italy, where he sent his family to Italy to get out of Trump's America. And then he brought him back because he understands that it's not safe. But he's not right wing. He ran away from Italy, but he's not actually a conservative. You know what I mean? And so even the people that are fleeing those countries might not have the right mentality to make our country great again, to have an appreciation for freedom and for rugged individualism. And so I would say that because we lack the vetting processes, because no one even has a concept of how you could do that sufficiently well, there's really no reason to have immigration right now. And a lot of people call me or wonder if I'm a hypocrite for believing that, for thinking that. But I think the reality is it's not about my personal condition. Right is right and wrong is wrong. And it doesn't matter how I got here. The truth of the matter is the only way to save this country, I think, is to lock down the border for good. We need a moratorium.
You know, some people in the neighborhood are, during Christmas, they're out collecting money to send toys for the poor kids in Mexico. And last year, what I said is, hey, don't send it to Mexico, send it to my house. I have 6 kids there. You know, why don't we start with the kids that we have here? And yeah, sometimes I see a lot of people that are taking our jobs, like all the IT professionals. Why can't we teach our own kids to be IT professionals? Why do we have to just get all, ship all that?
Well, even if they become IT professionals, you have to realize they're hiring Indian people to do for $60,000 a year what an American used to get like $120,000 a year for, literally half the salary. And so the reason that this fight is so important is because that's something that I think too, right? Like, oh, my industry is destroyed, I got to find something else to do. But the reality is there is nothing. Every single industry in our economy is somehow being negatively affected by the immigration problem. So that's really the big issue with the whole problem is there's nothing you could do, because even if I go to learn that IT stuff, there's some Indian guy on an H-1B visa who I have to compete with, who makes the salary for that a lot less, and then the school for that is obviously higher. So that's why it's such a problem. There's no section of the economy that you could get into to protect yourself from this. When I used to work in mortgage, I used to work at a mortgage company, and it was mostly Hispanic people. We worked in Santa Ana.
Let me my charger. Keep going.
Okay.
Keep going. I want to fix my charger.
No worries. But they hired an illegal at a mortgage company. I've worked at spas where they hire people without licenses. So, and until we deal with the immigration problem and repatriate the people who are not supposed to be here, there's really nothing that you can tell kids. It's really not fair to your kids. What can they study that they won't be affected by illegal immigration? Nothing. There's not a single industry. Even doctors are negatively affected. Their incomes are negatively affected by the immigration problem. So there's absolutely nothing that they could do, and that's why dealing with this problem is the biggest thing that we have to do for American kids. And that's all American kids. That's Black American kids. That's brown American kids. That's just American kids in general are going to suffer. That's why Cesar Chavez himself, that the Mexican labor rights leader, he was against the illegal immigrants. He was, I think, I'm not sure if he was the one that coined the word wetback, but I know that he said it a lot because it pissed him off. He's trying to get his working class legal Mexicans up in society, and the illegals keep them down too. So people like to think that it's like a racial thing, that we want to shut down immigration because it's a racial problem. But it's a problem for Americans of all races, and disproportionately affects legal Latinos and Black people more than whites, really.
And not just that, but even the people that are here illegally, they need to understand that their chances go lower of becoming legal when you keep bringing people in illegally. Do you know what I mean? It's just because I know the problem with the 11 million people, and then also the reproduction rate of Hispanics. I mean, those 11 million people, something that they don't think about is that they're reproducing at a very high rate.
Yeah, actually, 11 million is the accepted figure in the mainstream, but the more accurate figure is somewhere near 30 million. So they think, credible sources really think that we're all the way up to 30 million. And that's why it's so, and it is. And then they will have kids at an accelerated rate. And it's a voting bloc. The majority of these people are open to socialist ideas. Even when they run away, that's the thing. The Muslims that flee Muslim countries are still Muslims. The socialists that flee socialist countries are still many times socialist. And so these Hispanics who are coming from places like South America and Mexico, just because they're fleeing those countries doesn't mean they're coming over with American values. A lot of the times the problem is that they reproduce the problems in their new country that were the problems in their old country. And we just believe that they're running away from socialism, so they must understand how bad socialism is. And that's a fundamental misunderstanding of human psychology. A lot of people with traumas reproduce those traumas. A lot of people who watch their dad beat their mom will grow up with someone that beats them, stuff like that. And so that's really why you got these people. I do feel bad for them. I don't want them to hurt or starve and stuff. But at the same time, you have to recognize when you're having too many people put into your life raft, and your life raft is going to flip over and nobody's going to survive. And if we don't save America as the lifeboat of Western civilization, then there's not going to be anywhere that anybody wants to live. The whole world is going to be, I think, pretty terrible.
Because, Johnny, let's say there's 30 million, okay? So now you have all this, let's say I have 6 kids, but let's say they only have 4 or 3. Now you have this millions of kids that are angry. because the way their parents are teaching them, well, they don't like us here, you know, that they're being racist, but they're here. So these kids they feel guilty to be Americans. So it takes very long for them to integrate, even though they were born here.
Even if they do, I would argue that some of them don't integrate. I've met second generation Hispanic people that have not integrated. I've met people who don't speak English and they were born in this country. And so even it's not even a long time. Some of them will never integrate multiple generations in. And we still, I mean, we still see that from, you know, obviously because Black people have been in this country since the beginning, there's a lot of Black people who have adjusted, who live middle-class lives and stuff like that. But there are a lot of people who act in the same negative fashions of the people in Africa in those countries that exist today. All of that like civil war is what you see play out in the ghettos of America. And so you have to understand that, I mean, for some people, they'll just never be able to integrate into Western civilization at all. And that's my big concern with bringing people, and why I'm so specific about it is because some people can integrate, but some people will never integrate, and then they're more likely to have kids that don't integrate, and then it's just a big problem because culturally they teach them that the reason that they're not succeeding is not because they refuse to adapt to Western culture, but because they're being oppressed by Americans, by racist Americans, and that's a big part of why I'm for shutting it down completely. The refugee programs too. I think the refugee programs are the biggest scam. I don't believe that any of these people have run away from these problems because it usually takes like $4,000 to get here. And I'm thinking to myself, how did some poor villager from Nigeria get $4,000 to get here? You know what I mean?
And you know, Hispanics are business people. We don't see is that illegal immigrants. I'm going to speak for people I know. They don't want to cross the border right now because they don't want to risk the $12,000 because they pay those $12,000 because they're going to get something in return. But right now they're afraid that Donald Trump is going to kick them out, so they don't want to spend their savings.
Yes.
And that's how Mexico see illegal immigration. They see them as a business per entity that's going to be sending money to Mexico.
Absolutely. You know, I think the biggest thing that we could do for Mexico, if we wanted to help both Mexico and the United States, is send a hit team after Carlos Slim, because he's just got a monopoly on so many industries. And like, that's why the telecommunications industry is more expensive in Mexico than anywhere in Latin America. And it's because of that man's monopoly. And so that's why he bought the New York Times, to be able to keep our borders open, to influence our culture. And because we've been able to shift that culture back, we're keeping a lot of them out. But honestly, getting rid of Carlos Slim, I think, would be not just great for America, but it would be fantastic for the Mexican people as well. I think that's really one individual that's holding back his entire country. And he's one of our problems. He's like our George Soros. He's all of these guys got to go.
Johnny Cadillac says that a lot of people don't want to integrate. But, you know, I think that the problem is that we have allowed a subculture to prevail. And somehow, when you give money to all these people, and I saw that actually the correction of the money, because there were for a while there was a lot of illegal immigrants with big trucks and houses and everything, and a really bad attitude too. And I think somehow that has corrected, where people are going to take their place, and they're going to respect a little bit more this country, because I think that for a long time people were just taking it for granted.
Yeah, we are taking it for granted. I think everybody I think that's a problem in general, though. I think the people who are most taking this country for granted are basically the white people that live here. If you look at Antifa, the majority of Antifa is like white guys. It's just these white skinny kids. A lot of them's families goes back so many generations that they don't even appreciate it anymore. And that's why they get talked into all this cultural Marxism stuff. And so I think as a country, the whole country lacks patriotism. The whole country lacks a deepening of their American identity. You know, we think of ourselves as too many other things other than American. And that's really a huge part of the problem. And I think it's a universal problem within the whole country. You know, one of the things that if you ask most Colombians, they love being Colombian. They wear their jersey. They always have like a bracelet with their colors on them. they are stoked about the fact that they're Colombian. And what I always wonder is why Americans lack that to such a degree. There are subcultures of Americans that are very patriotic, but in general, you don't see the same amount of love for the nation, for the country, for its values and its traditions. And I think that's a problem throughout. I think that's a huge everybody. I know what you're
I was
saying.
I was talking with Kyle and David at a barbecue, and Kyle was saying that he respects that about Mexico. That if you hear our music, our food, I mean everything, you're ready to die for Mexico when you have that ideology. You know, this, if we could just get a little bit of that in the Americans, and have Americans feel good to say I'm an American, have Americans feel good to say I'm white, and you know, I feel good about it.
Exactly, and that's kind of the goal of all of these things, is to just in general create a better patriotic environment, like a 4th of July every month type of deal, and
Mm.
that would be the goal. That's kind of what all these events are about, is, you know, creating a more patriotic environment. I think that back the country. Um, yeah.
Well, you know, I don't want to just to wrap it up here. So how can we help you? Because I know that a lot of people don't like that you're a little extreme on the immigration side, but you know, everybody is entitled to their own opinion, and it's about talking about it. In the end, we gotta meet we gotta meet somewhere. But at
Mhm.
least you're talking about it now. Like, I know that Omar Navarro was not very happy with you when you asked him about the immigration stuff. Uh, but it's a touchy subject, you know, and I hope that we can talk more about it, and just listen to what every guy has to say. So how can we help you more with your movement?
Well, up till now, I mean, well, even these small events that we've been having, it takes a lot of people to make them happen. So I want people to feel a personal sense of responsibility for making these successful movements, the events succeed. So, you know, everybody who like shares the events, everybody who invites people, everybody who donates to the cause, everybody who shows up to all of the events, all of these things are big. So we could always use more volunteers. We could always use more donations, and we could always use, you know, any resources that people have that are disposable to the movement. A big part of that is like, you know, you don't think about like how much flyers cost. Like this is like a hundred something bucks that you just shell out of your pocket. But the reason that the left can succeed is because they have these millionaires. They have their George Soros and Carlos Slim, and all these people that for them they can drop like $20,000 to make an event really big, just to create like the presence of an idea. We need a grassroots movement because we don't have elite support. We're not an elitist movement. And so every little bit of donation, every participation, every little volunteer effort that anybody can make to get involved, it is a big deal. So just, you know, even promoting the event, buy your friends tickets to get them out, whatever you can do.
Yeah, I went to FedEx Kinko's, and I wanted to do a replica of my sign. And yeah, it was gonna be like $70. So yeah, you're right, and so keep doing what you're doing, because I think people will follow. You know, I see that a lot of people are starting to. At first, I saw that, you know, when you had the thing with Omar, people didn't really know what you were trying to say, but now you're going with the out night with Kyle and all that. And I can see things shaping up a little bit for you.
Sure.
So anything I can help you with, let me know. Do you want to
Sure.
say anything else? How can people reach you, or you want to say anything to wrap it up here?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, we're on Facebook. I think most of my following is on Facebook. I'm on Twitter too. It's Johnny__MAGA. And if anybody wants to volunteer, send me messages. Anything that you can do. I have a Patreon if people want to donate. All of these things help us do stuff. And these things are important. I'm growing increasingly concerned with the direction that the country is moving in. And I think people need to recognize that at this point, to continue to allow the leftist agenda to increase in strength is not going to be uncomfortable. It's not a matter of comfort, of quality of life. This is about just having a life. They're going to steal away. You know, people are talking about 100% inheritance tax. They're talking about basically appropriating a family's entire wealth. And so this battle is very important. Anything that they can do to get involved, I think, is crucial, because your resources that you're afraid to commit to the movement at this point in time may be taken from you in the future socialist government of the United States of America if we don't win this battle.
If I may suggest something, you should do a pamphlet and about the masculinity, so people have something to take home with. Like this, what's his name? Will Johnson did at the Unite America First rally. I think that worked out very good, because that way people take your message, they take it home and they can think about it, and then they can get back to you also about it. Because I think you're taking on something that you're saying things that people are not, they don't have the guts to talk about. And I think it needs to be talked about, because like I said, I have 4 sons, and I'm really worried in how they're going to grow to be, and you know, when they grow. I'm not just concerned about how expensive it is to grow them, but you know, for them to be participating members of society, you know.
Yeah, and I didn't make a pamphlet. I like to like for the last event, July 30th, I did hand out some literature. For this one, I bought a couple of copies. I think I have like 15 to 20 copies of of Enculture's Adios America, because I think that's like the most important thing for people to be reading right now. And we're gonna raffle those off. We actually got I got some really cool donations from a very awesome patriot who's one of my favorite people in the movement. But we're going to be raffling off this stuff. And I just took a look at it. I didn't look at it earlier. Like, we're going to be raffling off, like, this is a sniper spatula. This thing is awesome. I don't even want to raffle this stuff. I don't want to keep some of this stuff, but I'm not going to, because that would be disingenuous. But we have a lot of great stuff. So I didn't have a pamphlet for this one, because because I wrote out, because I bought so many copies of that book to raffle away. And that's kind of the thing that we're trying to show people. But yeah,
you know,
that's
a great idea. On my, you know, my business, I used to do a raffle and well, I always do one every year, and that brings a lot of people, and brings also money for you to keep doing your events as well.
Yeah, because people don't realize this one was supposed to cost like $4,500, and then after all the problems and all the security that they demanded and everything, we're like over $10,000. So that's the problem. Is conservative events are more expensive to throw because they don't want us to have them, and so like businesses like the one we're doing it at Old World is very neutral, but at the same time, like we still have to have security, and it's just like. It's a bummer, because it was an easy event to throw in the beginning to make back $4,500, but it's much harder to make back $10,000. And so I want to grow the movement so that we don't have these obstacles, so that we can do whatever it takes to have our events, to have our voices heard. I want to make it more fun. You know, it's not going to be just speaking this time, because I want to bring the community together. So we're going to be having talk for like maybe an hour less, or maybe a little bit over an hour, and then the rest of the time is just community time for people to mingle, to network, to get to know each other, to grow the community, and to have some beers. Old World, I think, has some of the best German beers in the county. I know every time I go, they give me 1 or 2 beers, and they are amazing. So I'm excited. It's going to be a lot of fun as well, and we are going to have.
I think that's a great way to celebrate masculinity. You should bring some tequila shots there too.
They have it open bar. It's gonna be awesome.
What do they drink in Colombia? What's a drink? Colombian drink?
They drink aguardiente. They drink this stuff that's made out of sugar cane. That's like just awful. It's terrible. And then they have Águila Roja beer that tastes like water. I sat down with my cousins one time and drank like 20 of those beers, and nothing happened.
All right, Johnny. Well, thank you for taking the time to speak with me, man. And anything I can help you, I wish I could be there, but I'll, I'll, I'll go on the next one.
Yeah. All right. Well,
But
we have the next event after August 5th. Will be the at the end of August, the last Sunday of August. We have that America First rally in Laguna Beach. It's going to be the grand finale, so we're going to try to make that one as big as possible. I'm going to try to have a flyer made for it. So we're going to try to get my goal, and I want everybody to take it as their like personal goal is to get 200 people out for the last Sunday of August.
okay, awesome. Thank you, man. Talk to you soon.
Later, brother.
Bye. Bye. So there you have it, guys. Jonny Benitez. If you don't know Jonny Benitez, start following him. He's taking the lead on a lot of events in LA. His message is a little bit extreme for some people, but you know, we all have our own message. So it's good that we talk about all this stuff because it really affects us all, guys. When I heard, let me see. When I heard that Jonny Benitez, his industry where he used to work was destroyed, that totally spoke to me. You know, and it's amazing how this happens to so many of us in every industry. You know, health industry, food industry, real estate. I'm still angry at Obama, but it's time to unite and deal with the wreckage of the past. Meaning we have to go and clean up and create a new future for all of us. Create a new future for our kids. Create a new future for our communities. And we're not always going to agree on everything, guys, but that's how it works. That's how this works. It's time to identify as an American first. Yeah. You know, and I'm guilty of that myself. And the only reason why sometimes I still say Latinos for Trump is because of the brand. But really, when I look at my kids, they're American. Actually, my kids tell me that. They tell me they're not Mexican. And it would be very, I think it would be very irresponsible if I tried to impose a culture onto my kids where they were not born. And just to finish here, guys, I know that the, Robert Herrera and Harim and myself, we have been attacked. We're being attacked by some indigenous groups. And these indigenous groups identify themselves as Mexicans. But they're really not Mexicans either because they don't believe in colonization. And they have been trolling us. Actually, they have been threatening Harim, telling them that green lights on him and just going after Harim really hard. So if you can go to these pages, some of us have put the pages, go and rate him and give him a 1 star because these kids, these indigenous groups only use the word Mexico just to trigger everybody because they're not Mexicans either. they say they're Native Americans. They say they're going to take back this land because this land is theirs. That's what they're selling. That this land was stolen from them, and they call it the Reconquista, meaning they're going to reconquer this land back to them. Samaria says, oh yeah, Samaria. So they have pictures of Samaria. They have pictures of Romero. They have pictures of Frank from New York. They have pictures of me. They have so these guys, it's really they're rebels with no cause, because I think what they're doing is they're taking advantage. They're taking advantage of us because we need your help, guys. I know that I'm not supposed to identify as Hispanic because I'm American, but yeah, that's the name. Mexicans Wake Up on Facebook. But we need your help because these miscreants, these freaking indigenous groups, they're only going after Hispanics that are for Trump. So we need your help because they're calling us vendidos, which is a sellout. And so they're trying to demoralize our movement. They're trying to demoralize our activism. Yeah, Jennifer, Jennifer, welcome. They got Jennifer too. So Jovi says they're going after the Americans who represent Latinos. Yeah, and also, so we need your help, guys, because these guys they're crazy. They have oh, hold on, I think we got one. We got a winner here. You are a sellout and a scam artist, you pendejo. I suppose this guy is referring to me. See? So these guys are feeling threatened by Hispanics that support Trump because they want the narrative to continue. And the narrative is that the white man with blue eyes is the devil, is the enemy. They don't believe in the American flag. They go after anybody that supports this country. But why are they in this country? They don't support this country. It's very hard to understand for me. And the thing is that their theory goes against the Mexican government as well. So these guys they have no land. They're nomads. Nomadas. Because they're so messed up. Check this out. So this Perez Albert that we have here. This is how messed up they are. Yes, Pat, thank you. They speak a European language because he is here speaking English, and then he also spoke Spanish. But they don't believe in that. And I'm pretty sure they spend dollars too. So let me see. What's his name? I wish I could bring this guy up so we can talk to him. So that's how I got him last time. They spend dollars. They probably have a bank account too. Yeah, they should learn now what? See, if these guys were in Mexico, they would be put in jail right away. So they're just taking advantage of this land. So they changed their name too. So like my name is Marco. So I will have to change myself to like Iztaccíhuatl or something like that. 80% of Mexicans have European DNA. Yes, Perez Alberto, that's his name. So whatever, uh, Jessica, whatever you guys are doing, let's keep putting the pressure on these guys. They are, Jovi says they are thugs. Um, Given their own countries. Hey,
Hey,
what's
what's
up,
up?
Jovi? How you feeling, man?
What's going on? Should
So,
I
what do you
get
think about these indigenous
decorated?
groups that are attacking Harim?
See, the thing is, right? You got these. This happens with all groups, like whether you're Moreno, Blanquito, Latino, even Chino. You have all these groups, right? That are not for their own people. They're not for their own communities. They don't do anything to help the communities. They want to be. They will have this thug mentality. So you're a tough guy if you're a thug, and you're weak and you're not helping your community. If you're actually going out there and representing the country that you live in, you know and they're just afraid. They're afraid of real change. They're afraid of something that helped them so much. I know because I went to a rally with nothing but Puerto Ricans, and I thought I was going to be welcome there. They were playing salsa. They were just dancing, jugando con what was it? El Quito, the little, and I'm like, oh, these are my people.
Mhm.
No, they're not. They're not my people because you know what? They've been fed lies, and it's like they don't even watch the news. They just listen to what people say on Facebook. That's where they're being educated at. They watch these stupid artists that don't know what they're talking about. Like you even have Mark Anthony going against Trump. It's just like you have all these people that they're influenced by because they really don't follow it. Like they don't have any type of following. They don't have any type of like leadership. And then it's like then you have somebody like you or Omar and even Jonny. You have an idea and you stick with it, and that's very strong. You don't change your mind, and that's what they don't like. They don't like the fact that exactly. They don't like the fact that you're for nationalism because they'll be in Mexico and they won't be for nationalism. They'll wrap that Mexican flag around their faces and commit crimes. They don't care. You know. Can you hear me by the
Yeah, I
way?
can hear you. You know, the only thing that with this indigenous, I have a lot of respect for indigenous really because I don't think it's all of them. I think it's just some really wild groups of them, some radicals because they're indigenous groups. They're usually very spiritual people. They're people that wouldn't get in, controversial stuff like this.
Sorry, I had to get dressed.
Oh, I was saying that indigenous people are usually very spiritual. They're. I don't think this. I think there's people are taking advantage of indigenous groups and us. Like they're the vendidos really. We have another one here.
But it's not even just like, huh?
We have another one here. I don't like you, Malinchin.
No, I know. I was reading it. He was like, he's hating, he's upset, he's mad because you represent your country. I mean, we wear hats that say "Make America Great Again." We don't have hats that say "Make Trump Great Again." I mean, I always say Trump is great, but it's just like they don't understand. And they probably don't even vote. They don't care about politics. A lot of these people don't even care about politics, and they see what you're doing. They see you in a suit, and they think you're a sellout. What is it? Vendido?
Vendido.
Vendido, exactly. Yeah, I've been called that. I've been called that many times by people that, I I remember helping friends get jobs and then they call me vendido just because I support my president. But when you were supporting Obama who did nothing for you, why you're not called a vendido? Why you're not called a sellout? I mean, I feel like this man is a sellout to this whole country. So if you're following a sellout, you might as well be a sellout. How is Trump being a sellout?
I think
How are we following a sellout?
I think that if we were not, these people are just angry at anybody that has any kind of success, because their narrative really of taking taking this land back. I mean, they have no standing. How are you gonna take this land back? I mean, that's crazy.
It was bought, it was conquered, it was won, it was given, or not given, but it was negotiated. And it's just like, it's not like we just took it. Not even we. It's not like they just took it. They fought for that land. And the funny thing is, like, a lot of these groups, these indigenous groups, were killing each other. They were killing each other off. They were murdering different tribes just because one comes from the mountains, the other one comes from the fields. They all had like different ideas, but they never try to like, come together. They were savages. And what's wrong with us actually colonizing? Not even us, but the Europeans colonizing this nation. They hate it. They hate the fact that we have buildings and AC and all this other stuff. They want to live in teepees right now and play with sticks and stones.
So how are you hanging in there? I know you were Braveheart. How are you hanging in there? They pick up your story. You feel good about yourself?
Yeah, they picked up my story. It got a little buzz. I wanted to get it more out there. I wanted to get it to even CNN. I want everybody to see what's going on, especially CNN, since they feel like journalists are in trouble when they walk the streets. I'm like, no, you're more in trouble if you walk the streets with this hat,
Right.
which I do anyways. I mean, nobody's gonna stop me from wearing what I want to wear. And you're in America. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing in New York City. I'll do it if I go to California. I'll do it if I go to Florida, Chicago. I'm just trying to travel around and show people that forget about your feelings. It's about what's true, what's right. And what's right is we want to make America great again. We're working together to make America great again. It's not like, we're just standing around doing nothing. There's a lot of us like Hareem, Robert, me, Augustus in Florida. There's people in all areas. And if I didn't say your name, just know that like you're out there doing, Kyle Chapman, so many of us out there just actually standing up in the front lines and saying, you can't tell us what to do. You can't tell us what to wear, and you can't tell us how to think. And the day you do that, this is no longer America. And I'm not going to stand for that. I stand for freedom. I stand for the national anthem. I stand for my country. I'm a nationalist. I'm a patriot. I stand and I fight and I bled for this. And I didn't want to bleed for it, but I knew it would probably happen just because we need to expose the left. It's a shame that it happened, but we finally were exposing the left, and I wanted it to happen in New York, but it's still not happening. Like these mainstream media outlets are not going to pick up the story because it doesn't fit their narrative.
Right. Right. No, it doesn't work. Yeah. Yeah, but
and that's the same thing with
give it time. They'll just keep going.
Yeah, and it's like with these, I don't know, indigenous people. I saw like a bunch of like these La Raza people just like approaching Hareem and everybody. It's just because it doesn't fit the narrative. Oh, Trump said something racist about Mexicans when he just really mentioned illegals. So then they flip it around and go, no human is illegal. And I was like, yeah, and you could tell that to the Martians. I really don't want to hear this. Like this is a land that has a constitution that us legal citizens are protected by. Why are they being involved? Why are they even incarcerated in our cells, like in our prisons? Like this just doesn't make any sense. They shouldn't even be here to begin with. And there's like so many of them that get deported and come back, get deported and come back, and then they murder people. And then the people are just saying, whoops, I guess we should have deported him a sixth time. It's ridiculous. Like 3 strikes, you're out. And if anything, you shouldn't even be here to begin with. Why are they not? I would do this. I would charge fees to every one of these people that are coming in here illegally, trying to get work and not pay taxes, and then use that money to build the wall. Because indefinitely, Mexico will build the wall because we're actually sending them back.
A friend of mine was telling me that the Mexican government should pay for it, because in any other country, when you let 11 million of your citizens go into another country, it can be considered. It's considered an invasion. It's considered an act of war.
Exactly. They're not even. You can't even call them illegal immigrants because they shouldn't be considered immigrants. They should just be considered illegal aliens. They do not belong here. There's no reason why they should be even compared to being immigrants. They're just, they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. They're trying to beat the system, but they're not going to. You got a president right here who's implementing a force to say you need to respect this land. You need to respect the laws. You're not under the Constitution, so you're not protected by us. You are going to leave as soon as we catch you. We don't care what your situation is. And that's what's going to happen, you know? And I'm all for it. You know, my mother came from another country. My dad's, you know, Puerto Rican, but you know, my mother came from another country. She came from South America. She came here and she got her citizenship. And you know, I don't even know about that process, so I can't really speak about it. You know, but Robert did it. My friend from Dominican Republic did it. Took him 5 years, but you know what? They did it. And there's people there that just are so lazy. They do not even want to go through the process. They think it's hard. There's people that spoke to me that were illegal, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you don't have a voice here. I'm sorry, but you don't. You can't vote. You shouldn't even vote. You shouldn't have a voice here because you don't belong here. The reason why you don't belong here is because you don't respect this nation. And sure, there's people that are legal that don't respect this nation, but well, let's handle them. Why are we going to take care of our community if we can't even take care of our home? And yes, America is our home, and people don't understand that. And you don't just let anybody in your home. They knock first.
Hey, Jovi, you miss Robert?
When's he coming back? Ustedes lo cogieron y no dijeron nada. You know, you guys kept it so quiet. You know, it's like
I don't know. He's here. It was
like
Jessica. Jessica stole him, man.
Jessica, right? Yeah.
But
Now we know who to
I
blame.
think he's going back in 2 weeks. Or I mean, a week. Somewhere
Well,
around there. But hey, are you going to more?
2 weeks.
Are you
Huh?
going to more?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna make it out there. I mean, I'll find a way, you know. I also want to go to there's a free speech rally in Boston. It's on the 19th. Is there anything going on in Cali? Like a big event?
Yeah, we
Because you
have
told me something about
August
Berkeley.
27, and August 20,
Yeah.
26, 27 in Berkeley. You should do Berkeley. Actually,
I
Haley was
if
telling me
I,
that she wanted to bring you up this on this.
yeah.
You know, let's work
Me
it
me
out.
and Haley
Let's
got
work it
connected.
out. You have an account, a GoFundMe account?
Yeah, yeah. Look, I wanna speak to everybody on Facebook. I want to speak to everybody on Twitter, but it's just like I can't even do that right now. Like there's like so much stuff going on with me, with my case, with my doctors. It's just like, you know, and there's people like contacting me that want to do interviews. Some people just want to get a little piece of information so they can use it against
Mm.
me. You know, they want to make Trump supporters seem violent. That's what they're trying to do. And I spot that. So I have to be really careful who I add, who I speak to, what I say. I know there's so many people there that are snapshotting everything. They're upset at me for being attacked the way I was attacked. They're upset at me for having a broken nose and 15 stitches. They're so upset at me. They're saying to me, "Oh, you're a fraud, or you're a fake." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know, right? Like look what happened to me because I'm so fake." I was like, "No, it's because the people that are most real in this movement are going to be questioned the most, but nobody's going to test them because they see what they're doing out there. You know, that's what I did with the Scars and Stripes rally. And this is the movement. It's the idea that we need to raise awareness of political violence in this country, political hate crime. You know, I don't like the word hate crime. I feel like it restricts your freedom of speech. You know, it's like if you throw a snowball at someone, it's considered a misdemeanor assault. You call them a racial slur while doing it is considered a felony hate crime, all because of one word. It changes the charge, and it's like that's not right. You know, so I'm against the whole idea of just using the word hate crime, even though this was a political hate crime. This is not something you use through visual. It was all about thought. I think differently. Somebody got punched in the face recently for saying they voted for Trump, you know? That's insane. And another woman told me she got kicked in the stomach by these vicious animals. You know, Michael Savage got beat up and then his dog got kicked. They don't care. They do not care. These are no longer liberals. These are no longer Democrats, okay?
Yep.
When blood is shed, there's no longer democracy. When you're attacked for your thoughts, you are no longer a liberal. And that's it. You're left wing extremist, you're domestic terrorist.
Jovi,
Sorry, I don't want to go off on it,
Jovi,
but yeah.
if you know, in a domestic violence case, if the man comes home and breaks the freaking TV because he's angry in front of the kids, it's a crime because you cannot transfer thoughts into physical action. You know that's the problem. These people want to break your head because you think different than they do, and that's not right. They have a problem. You know, it's definitely something that they need to work on.
It's not. It's not right. It should have never happened. It could have been completely avoided. You gotta understand, like I'm having a great time in this bar. We're like, I'm not even drinking. I'm like drinking water because I'm dancing the whole time. And then she waited like 3 hours, and then finally she decides I'm gonna step on his hat, and he's not gonna do anything about it because one, I'm a woman. Two, he's a Trump supporter, and three, my boyfriend's gonna take care of him if he touches me. And then I'm like, what's gonna happen, you know? And then everything just escalated. I just wanted my hat back. That was it. I just wanted my hat back. She had no right to step on it. She had no right to disrespect me. She could have just left it alone. No, and then you have these mayors, even in California, right? This guy, Jerry Brown, is it? Jerry Brown, right?
Hmm.
Jerry Brown, De Blasio, all these mayors, they just like they're destroying their cities. They don't care. They let these people run around, you know, and yeah, they're Sorosites. That's what they are. They're parasites that leech onto Soros, and they're Sorosites that run around the cities, destroying it, vandalizing, burning cars, attacking people. I think in NOLA, New Orleans, they attacked a guy who's like, he has a prosthetic leg, and they popped the tires of his car. Like, they're just ridiculous animals. You can't even put a bumper sticker on your car. Like, you understand like how insane this is? And we have to fight against this. Like, these people do not, sorry, he's the governor. These people do not scare me at all. And people hate that about me, that I'm not afraid of them. Like, I need to be careful. I need to carry pepper spray or a taser or any of this. And I was like, no, I refuse to be afraid of these people. And I refuse these people to just walk around thinking they run the place. This happened to me, but it doesn't stop me from going out there and actually taking care of what I have to take care of. This is what the movement is, Scars and Stripes. We're trying to raise awareness of Ameriphobia in this country. You're waving American flags, you're holding the Trump's whatever banners and putting on the hats, and you get attacked for it. That's Ameriphobia. Forget about this whole idea of Islamophobia or homophobia or transphobia. It's nonsense. It's real phobia is what's going on with the left. Okay, they are afraid of us. They see that the silent majority has a voice now. You know, so many of us are going out there. You know, and who knows? We might be once again the 3% of America that stands up for our country and fights off the left. Not even Democrats, not even liberals, fights off the left wing extremists, the ones that are just far left, that are more dangerous than
So
anybody they consider
they broke a
alt-right.
bottle on your head. Is that what happened? Or I mean, it was a bottle. How did?
Yeah, I was sliced. My nose was broken. I was sliced over here, and I was hit in the back of the head with a bottle. Pero todavía yo estaba parado, you know, like no me podían tumbar en el piso, you know, they couldn't drop me. So después de eso, I was like, oh, you know what? I took too many hits. I'm gonna probably die. So let me just go down. So I go down, and then they start repeatedly stomping me, just like they did to my hat, you know. And the next thing you know, like I finally get back up, and I'm trying to leave the bar, and then the girl's still trying to attack me. The boyfriend knew he messed up, so he's trying to leave. So as they're trying to escape, some lady that was with us grabbed them to make sure they don't escape, and then she tries to fight her off. And guess what? I have like the aftermath video. A friend of mine recorded it,
Awesome.
and I'm gonna probably release it soon. I want everybody to see what happened. If you don't want to see it, that's fine. I mean, it is bloody, you know. It happened. I had so much blood on me that my hair went down. You know, that's how bloody I was. Like I had my hair like up, and then it was down. It was like
I didn't
estaba
recognize you.
mojado,
I
you
didn't
know.
think that was you because you look so different with your hair down.
It's sad, you know. It's sad, but look, I'm gonna tell you this, Marco. I'm glad it happened to me and not somebody else. A lot of people can't handle that. You know, a lot of people can't handle the fact that they were disfigured. Me, I, I, I took my bruises, took my lumps, took my scar, and I just keep moving forward. A lot of people are not going to be able to do that right away. You know, it takes time. And people are so shocked that I came right back up above it. But I'm still, going through it. Like, I can't look at myself in the mirror sometimes. It's like I can't remove this from my nose. You remember seeing me out there, like, my face was like, I was happy. I'm still happy, but sometimes I can't even smile because it's like, me daña la cara, you know?
Hey, so yeah, let's try to get you to for Berkeley. That would be great.
I'll definitely go. And I'll be in the front lines with you
I think
guys.
you're Berkeley material with that scar. Because
They they got to see what happens to people that actually stand up for their rights, you know? It's like I'm really standing up for my rights. Like these people are always saying, respect gay rights, trans rights, female women rights. And my dad always told me, it's a joke, but my dad always said, a woman's always right. So they don't need any more rights, okay? Women's always right. All right, guys. Sorry to say this, but it's true. Women are always right. But with the whole trans right and gay rights, understand that we're pandering to like these sexual preferences, and we're saying that they deserve rights, even though they're already men and women. Gays are either men or women who are just gay. Trans are either men or women who transitioned. And with the whole idea of like multiple genders, why is it you can only transition from a man to a woman or a woman to a man? That's it. If there was such thing as more than two genders, then a transgender would be more than just a male transitioning to a female. And they're always trying to have some type of like um weird theory about it, and it's just theories until proven fact. But yet it has not been proven fact, and I just told them bisexual means two sexes, or the only two sexes, which are male and female, and they just can't handle that. And it sucks because I don't even want to say none of this. I just want to say, look, we want to make America great again. We're putting America first, all right? Not America only, but America first. I stand by other countries. I stand by Israel. I stand by Brexit. I stand by all of these people that are fighting for their country. Polish, nationalism is key here. But the Mexicans are not doing that. They're not staying in their countries and trying to repair their countries. No. I mean, if you're coming here legally, that's good. But if you're not, stay in your country and try to fix your own economy. You say that you're helping our economy. How? How are you helping us? What contributions do you make? When they get here, they're giving benefits that we're not even given. They're giving health care, for Christ's sakes, before I'm probably giving it. They get priority, you know?
especially New York. No, no, here in California too. Let me see. So,
Yeah,
Jovi, you're a good person. Stay on your ground.
of course. I'd
Okay,
rather
Jovi,
die on my feet than live on my knees.
great,
What's up?
great having you here, man. And hope to see you in Berkeley. And if not, see you more.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I'm sorry, I'm a buen chinchero sometimes. I go off. Like, I just can't stop. It's like a machine gun. Brrrr. But you know what?
It's okay.
I appreciate you for having me. Great talk with Johnny Benitez. This is the first time I actually seen him like live and everything. And it's great. This is what we're doing. We're putting all these Latinos together, and I just want to tell you, like, I stand with Latinos for Trump, but I don't want people always assume I'm just a Latino for Trump when I'm just way more than that. I'm an American for Trump. I'm a Hispanic for Trump. I'm, just a man for Trump. Like, there's so much that you could just say, and I'm not even just for Trump. I'm for
I,
America,
I
and that's what we
think
have to
I
understand. That
think
we're
Latinos
for
for Trump
America.
Latinos for Trump worked in the election because in the election
It did.
we had to identify that it had to just be that. So, but now Trump saying so now yeah, we definitely have to evolve to a lot more than just that. That's for sure.
Yeah. Definitely, definitely. And I appreciate you, inviting me here. I had a feeling you were for some reason. I was like, I think he wants to speak to me about what happened to me. We haven't really
I
spoke
saw
too
you
much
were
about
with
that.
Sarah too on was it Saturday? You were with Sarah out there? What
Oh
what were
yeah,
you
she's
doing, man? You
beautiful.
you
Like,
were challenging everybody there, or what? What was that about?
okay, okay, so Scars and Stripes rally was the rally I set up. 50, maybe 60 people. We're just coming together, New Yorkers. It's very hard to get New Yorkers out. But we did it. We had our rally, and people were trying to approach us about it. They were like saying upsetting things like, "Oh, you guys are idiots. You guys don't know what you're doing. You guys are lost. You guys are confused. Popular vote, blah blah blah." And I'm just like, he won. He won. You have to deal with it. Two scoops, two terms, two genders, and they go nuts. But then we're like done with the rally, and then we walk to Times Square, and we know Times Square is insane. Like, Times Square is full of like all these tourists. Sometimes they're like tolerant, but sometimes they go nuts. So and then we see this we're just hanging out there, and then they start playing music, and we just start dancing. So I hold the sign that says "Socialism sucks," and I was dancing with the sign. I think you saw it in Sarah's video. I was holding the sign with "Socialism sucks," and these people don't know what socialism is, and they're just like giving me the finger all because I have the MAGA hat on. But yeah, it was great. I know you put me on the page. I wasn't contributing at all, and you had to take me off. That's awesome. Like, that's what I do too. I take people out that are not doing anything. But I appreciate you bringing Sarah out there. She did her thing. Very amazing. And we're gonna do it again.
No, what
Definitely keep
happened?
in
What
contact
happened
with
is
her.
I actually had take a lot of, because we're being attacked. Our pages are being attacked. We're all being attacked. So I have to be careful. I'll put you back later.
No, no te preocupes, you know. No, 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 no. Because the thing is, I won't even have time. Like, I can get somebody. That's the thing. Like, I don't even have time to post on my own page. I like let my brother post on it. I let my friends post on it. You know, I don't even have time to post on it. But what's it called? We're gonna definitely work something out to unite all the patriots. I'm talking about like the guys really out there in the front lines. We're gonna unite all the front lines together and create one big line, and we're gonna like stand up probably right when the wall is being built, and we're all just gonna hang out there. Vamos a sacar foto y todo, you know. We're gonna make it happen.
You
I'm
know,
telling you, like it's gonna be
that's a
great.
great idea, man.
Yeah.
So you have a page though, right? You have a page that you manage. The
Yeah, I'm horrible at this. Like I don't promote myself at all, really. Okay, so I have a group. It's called The Modern Patriots. THE Modern Patriots, right? So that's the group I started. Like right after I met Rob, I was like, wow, we're like standing up for our flag. Trump is in office. November 9th was like our Independence Day. This is, 1776 all over again. And guess what? We are the modern patriots. And I just rolled with that and I kept using it. And I kept saying, like, guys, we got to go out there. We got to go to their rallies. We got to go to their events. We got to, we got to bother them. Not bother them, but really let them know, like, hey, we're Trump supporters and you have to deal with it. And if you don't like it, then go across the street, which we managed to have them do a lot. We actually push them out of their own little circle sometimes because our message is so strong, or this is so strong. Like, it bothers them so much
yeah.
they can't even handle it. But it's also violent. They are going to try to attack us. Remember, guys, this happened to me while I was wearing a Trump hat. Do not be afraid. My message out there is do what you can out there. Wave your flags, put on your hats, put on your buttons. Do not let anybody tell you what you can and cannot wear. And we're just going to definitely, definitely make America great again.
So the modern patriots, I like it. I'll start sharing it.
Yeah, the
So
modern
do you go live out of it?
yeah.
Do you do live events?
Oh, I go live whenever we go to like rallies and events. Like the group
Mm-hmm.
is the Modern Patriots. Cuando yo estoy solo, it's just Jovi Val. We're doing this thing, me and Haley, that's called the Red Pill Hour. So we try to do it like at midnight, and then we just start talking about like red pilling. So it's just like reality hit. Like the truth comes out. And I don't know if you ever seen The Matrix, which you probably have. Everybody's seen The Matrix. You take the blue pill, you end up in the fantasy world, what you think is reality. And then you take the red pill and you start seeing, wow, it's ugly out there. We have to really work hard. We have to really work hard. And that's what we're doing,
The only
So like,
the only problem taking the red pill is you can't go back, man.
nope. And that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
You take the red pill and then you start seeing everything for what it really is. America was a great country at one time. It's sad to say, but when people always say, when was America ever great? I hate to say this, but it was right after 9/11 when we all started waving the American flag. You remember that? Right after 9/11,
Hey,
we all waved the American flag. We were really happy about waving that flag. We became like this strong group that said, no matter what happens, if you love this country, we stand for you. And that was what the message was. And then in 2008, when this knucklehead got in, todo se dañó. Islamophobia came in, homophobia came in, transgender phobia. All these things just started ruining the whole idea of America. It doesn't matter what your background is, doesn't matter what your sexual preference is. If you stand for America, we stand with you. And we couldn't do that under Obama. If you even voted against Obama, you're racist. If you even said anything against Obama, you're racist. How many people got kicked off of television just for going against Obama? It was ridiculous. People ended up dead. I'm not even going to talk about this, but people ended up dead speaking about his wife, and it's just insane. Somebody could probably comment here who ended up dead, but we're not going to talk about that. And, it's just insane. Like, this is not the America I know. I did not know there was an America that wanted to boycott a newspaper all because they called a president a monkey. Okay, we get it. He's black. You shouldn't call black people monkey, but it's like we used to call George Bush monkey because he did stupid things, So when you do a stupid thing, you're the monkey, and it was like all offended by it. There you go, Stephanie. You know what I'm talking about. And it's just like, it's insane. So this group is to protect free speech. Our motto is Libertatem Tuere, which is Latin for protect free speech. We have our own little emblem. It's like a fidget spinner with 2 cross guns and what's it called? And the sun. Like we just having fun with it, you know? But this is the thing, like our side is actually the party, the Republican Party. We're partying, we're having a beautiful time. They are the Democratic plantation, and we need to get them off that plantation. We're gonna do it together. We're the swamp drainers
You
too, if
know,
you don't realize it.
I
Like
love
we
it,
are.
Jovi, because I'm sure I wish or I hope there's a lot more Jovis out there that have the same idea you have and get a lot more groups like that and we can all get together. That would be awesome. So keep it up, man.
Exactly. And yeah, and right now, I'm just doing the GoFundMe's, the GoFundMe's, the researchers, the PayPal's. I think there's something called Patreon, raising all this money so I can like actually go out there to those cities and help those people también. I want to do something where it's just American made. Like I just want to get everybody these hats, the real official hats. No more China nonsense, the real hats. A bunch of my friends have the China ones. Don't worry, we'll make this happen. Okay, we're gonna do as much as we
All right.
can. And that's how you help your people.
All right, bro.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm a bonchinchero. I'm sorry. Like I know you have a lot to say too, and it's
No,
just
it's
like
you know what?
I get
The thing is this.
I get passionate.
The thing is that I love when people have so much to say because you have to keep don't you have to use that because you can use that to get a lot more people to bring them in and to that's the beauty of it because
Claro.
there's a lot of people that
Definitely.
that they don't practice their how can I say their love for that they have for this country. So they don't have much to say, and that means they need to go to another rally. They need to go to another event so that they get that back and they keep that going.
Exactly.
You are like that because you're always out there,
I
like Robert
you
too.
you won't be like this. Let me tell you guys something, all right? Everyone that's watching, you're not gonna be like this until you actually go out there. You can watch all the TV you want, you can watch all the YouTube videos. It's not gonna mean anything. You need to actually go out there and see what's going on in your cities, okay? In your country, in this world. It's insane what's going on in this world, and we want to protect our country, okay? We want to protect this country from all the evils and wickedness that's coming in. We'll take care of our own problems. Why do we have to take in other people's problems? Let's worry about us first. That's what he means by America first. Let's focus on us.
Right on, brother.
It's good
All right.
speaking to you, man.
All right.
Cuídate. Buenas
So,
noches. Take care, everybody.
so that was Jovi, guys. Except for those 3 times. Let me see. So if you're not following Jovi, please follow him. Jovi is always full of energy. He's out there. He's just like Robert in New York. Um, he might be joining us in Berkeley on the 26th and in San Francisco on the 27th. And just like I told him, the more you practice your patriotism, I guess you can say that, the more you balance yourself. And I know that a lot of people are afraid to go live or to go to events. Just practice, guys, and you'll see. Jovi is an inside job. Okay, so much for practicing patriotism. Look, guys, nobody's perfect, okay? But take the good and leave the rest. That's all I can tell you. I'm pretty sure that Jovi has got his own issues. I have my own issues. Harim has his own issues. Robert has his own issues. None of us are perfect, but we are perfect for each other, guys. Okay? None of us are perfect, but we are perfect for the movement. Stephanie says, I know a ton that are scared. No, Stephanie, just grab the phone, turn it on, and make love to the world. Yes, Mary. Nobody's perfect. So whenever people try to tell me, oh, Harim is this, oh, this person's this, oh, this person, you know, I take the good and leave the rest. Okay? Um, Everybody is responsible for their own actions. And in the end, everything is just going to work out. Remember what I used to say? During the election, it was so chaotic. Um, During the election, it was so chaotic that I had hundreds of people attacking me and telling me lies and asking me questions. And I always said that the voice of truth and reason will prevail, because I didn't know who I was talking to. I was interviewed by thousands of people. And I used to say, I think I got interviewed by the devil himself. So you need to be ready to talk to everybody, guys, and do not be afraid. Remember, the only thing that we have to be afraid is fear itself. I mean, come on, guys, let's be honest here. If you're afraid of Jovi, if you're afraid of Harim, if you're afraid of Robert, if you're afraid of me, whether I am a real patriot or not, can you imagine? Then you're afraid of the left. Then you're not going to be able to handle the left. You're not going to be able to handle Antifa. That's the way I feel about it. You know, and I'm not trying to judge anybody here, but the modern patriots. Okay, thank you to Jovi. Thank you to Jonny Benitez. Again, I know that a lot of people find Jonny Benitez that he is a little extreme on his message. Again, take the good and leave the rest. I like Jonny Benitez. I like what he has to say. We have another troll here. Arriba Mexico. Arriba Mexico. Let's see what Jonny Benitez has to say. So please, if you can contribute to his to Jonny Benitez Make Men Great Again event, if you can participate by going to the event or by helping whatever you can, $5 goes a long way. Remember, I would rather have $100 out of 100 people than $100 out of one person. So Luis Ceballos here has got the Mexican flags. Let me tell you, thank you for putting the American flag. Luis Ceballos, this is for this troll right here. The Mexican flag is a sacred instrument for the Mexican people, and it shouldn't be used to disrespect America. So you, Luis Ceballos, Luis Castellanos, you're doing a disservice to Mexico, and you're doing a disservice to the United States. You're offending both countries. You're a confused person. Okay, so August 5th, guys, make men great again. I like that. Because we really definitely, it's not that we're against women, I guess. I'm not trying to be like Al Bundy here. But I am also worried about our younger generation and their masculinity and their ability to defend themselves in certain danger from bullies, to stand for themselves, to be sure of their manhood. Okay. Somebody is trying to call me. Michelle says she's worried about that too. Marco's right. Don't use the flag as an attack. The Air Force. Yeah. Well, the thing is, guys, my dad was in the Mexican military. I don't know if I told you that. So the Mexican flag, I mean, not just the Mexican flag, every flag in the world is a sacred instrument for every country, and we should respect it. Unless we're at war. If we're at war with that country, then that's another thing. But last time I checked, we're not at war with Mexico. So for this miscreants to come here and disrespect a peaceful assembly, which is this live transmission, it really shows what they are made out of. And I bet you that you are not helping a lot of Mexican people that need help here in the United States by doing that, because you're pissing us off. Oh, it says, so women are going to be speaking at the event too. Okay. So let me bring the event up. Make so guys, please support Jonny Benitez. He's taking the lead on the movement here by doing this. There's about 373 people interested on the event. There you have it right there. So it says, so they're gonna have food. It's a $35 contribution, guys. Nothing. And there's Jonny Benitez right there. So there's this person says she's very excited for the event, a celebration of masculinity. There is who's is that Irma? Let me see. So I think this is Irma drinking a beer. So they're gonna have beer. And that's our other events that Jonny Benitez has put in place. So there you have it. Okay, guys, thank you for staying with me. I know we went a little longer than usual. Irma Hinojosa will be speaking, and Deborah as well. And so, Johnny Cadillac, thank you for staying here. Thank you even to the trolls. Thank you. I love trolls, because soon you guys, all those trolls that are here, they're here because, let me tell you why trolls are here watching us, because they want us to convince them, because they don't have the guts to say they're wrong. Change hearts, yes. So guys, thank you so much. I love you. I know I took a few days off. I missed you guys. I gotta go and be a man, celebrate my masculinity, and cook dinner for my kids. But I'll talk to you guys soon. Only one troll. Thank you, guys.